Okay, guys, we are back to more Please Be Happy. In the last one, we just kind of spent the day with Aspen. We did some flower pressing. It was a lot of fun. It was super cute. As always, everything tends to be in this game. And we are back for Halloween, which I'm really excited for. Again, listen, I know it's a ton of work. I know it's a ton of work. And if this doesn't happen, I'll be a little sad. It's not going to be like I'm going to count points against Please Be Happy if it doesn't do this. But if we could get like a new portrait or something, even just a CG. I can't. Even just a CG, as if CGs aren't like super like a ton of work to be put in by the artist. A CG of them in costumes or something. I want a little bit of dress up. It's Halloween. Come on, we can get that. Hopefully? Question mark. With all that being said, let's just go ahead and jump on into it. As the day winds down and starts to get darker, a light breeze starts to pick up. Not enough to be cold, but enough to make me glad I have my jacket. Aspen, Juliet, and I sit out on the front porch with the lights on, watching the road.
How long until people start showing up?
You know, it's easy for me to imagine these two doing that, but just because of like the way that Juliet is dressed, it's hard for me to imagine her just like sitting out on the porch because I'd be sitting there the whole time like I'm not getting like my cape or my sleeves or my pants dirty. Am I like a single speck of dirt? It's like it's over for me. I could never with the way that she's dressed.
Soon, I'd imagine. The early evening is when most trick-or-treating begins.
They'd better hurry before Miho eats all the candy. Can't argue with that.
I unwrap another piece and stuff it into my mouth, shoving the wrapper into my pocket with a bunch of others.
Maybe if you go knocking on doors, you could convince people you're a kid in a costume too. That way you could get your own candy.
Hey, from where I'm from, even if you're like an adult, if you go trick-or-treating and you're in a costume, all you need is the costume and to say trick-or-treat, and people are always willing to give you candy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Do you think that would work?
It's hard to talk with my mouth full of chocolate and caramel.
No, but it's funny to imagine.
Oh, look! Here come a few of them now.
Sure enough, a group of 3 kids appears at the bottom of the hill and start making their way up towards us. I stand up, the giant bowl in my hands. Dude, I'm killing it with the reading today. We're like 4 sentences in that I've read, and I haven't messed up once.
Oh, how cute!
One of the kids has a white sheet draped over them with big holes cut out for the eyes. The other 2 are dressed like characters I've seen on TV. The 3 of them hold out open pillowcases, and I toss a handful of candy into each one. Listen, there's 3 of them. I said one of the 3, so even if I had continued, it would have been right.
Here you go.
The 3 with the big eyes goes... Wait, the one with the big eyes goes even more wide-eyed.
Whoa, that's a lot! Thanks a bunch! Wait, was it? Should I take some back?
Aspen swats me
You can't
gently.
do that.
The 3 kids hurry off, probably. That'd be such a funny image. She throws in the candy. Oh my gosh, that's so much. Oh no, you're right. Shoves her hand and starts robbing this child of the candy she just gave him. The 3 kids hurry off, probably afraid that I really was going to reach in and reclaim some of the candy. I sit back down.
How much am I supposed to give them?
Usually a piece or 2, but it's not a problem. We still have several unopened bags inside.
Great.
I grab another piece for myself and munch on it.
Well, in that case...
Aspen reaches over and picks out a couple candies for herself too. It isn't long before the next batch of kids shows up, with another close behind them. The second group even has some parents accompanying them. It gets later and later, but more kids start arriving, rather than less. I hand out candy until my arm gets tired, and Aspen takes over. More than once, Juliet has to go inside and get more bags of candy to refill the bowl.
This is more work than the library on a busy day.
It absolutely is. I didn't realize as a child how much work Halloween was for people. Even my first day of work, when Aspen helped me run the desk, felt less busy than this evening does. But also, it's a lot of fun. Many of the kids have creative costumes, and I even recognize some of the characters they're dressed as. The less creative costumes are still cute too, and it's nice seeing so many happy smiles as they walk away. Ooh. Listen, as soon as the song comes in, I'm like, oh, it's just so relaxing to hear. It's not until the moon is high in the sky that the trick-or-treaters stop showing up. We can still hear the occasional whoop and shout from the streets nearby, but no one else comes up the path. The big bowl of candy is nearly empty, with less than a full layer left behind. A bunch of empty bags fills one of the recycling bins. In the end, we manage to go through all the candy Juliet bought. After about 10 minutes without any more kids, we finally get up from the porch.
I believe we can call it a night.
That was certainly the busiest Halloween I've ever been a part of.
Really? I didn't know if that was normal or not.
For Welly, maybe. But I don't get many trick-or-treaters at my apartment.
Yeah, I always thought the idea of like trick-or-treating in like an apartment building would be fun, but I'm also like, you probably just get like no one there, you know?
At home, there are like maybe 5 kids in town at any given time.
Oh my gosh, your town is tiny. Holy crap.
More candy for you.
Speaking of which, I hope I can count on the two of you to finish off the leftovers we have here.
You don't even have to ask.
I'd better take what I can before Miho claims it all for herself, shouldn't I?
Not if I beat you to it anyway.
Laughing, the three of us clean everything up and then finally head back inside the library.
That was quite fun, but I do think I'm ready for bed.
What? What's up with Miho's face?
Is something wrong?
I barely register her words. Something is wrong, but I don't know what. As soon as I walk through the front door, I can tell, but I can't place what it is.
Miho?
Both of them stop walking, watching with concern. Is this gonna be like someone like broke into the place? Like that's immediately what my mind went to, is like someone like broke in here and she can like hear it or like smell like something like slightly off. That's immediately the things I'm getting to, is like her like fox senses is like kicking and she can like tell something's wrong that the other two can't. Both of them stop walking, watching me with concern. Finally it hits me.
It's cold.
It's cold.
Oh, is there a window open somewhere that shouldn't be? It doesn't take me long to spot the source. One of the windows near the shelves, not far from Aspen's usual table, is wide open. The curtains flutter with the breeze. The two of them follow my line of sight.
Did we forget to close this? But then, that doesn't make sense, does it? Why would we have just opened one of the windows?
No. Either someone broke in or someone was already here and they broke out, which is one of my biggest fears. Like, there are so many, like, videos or, like, reportings of, like, people, like, living in other people's houses at the same time that they're still there. Like, like,
We wouldn't. That window was definitely shut earlier.
It's Halloween. Maybe some kids snuck in here as a prank. Is anything missing?
The three of us look around, inspecting the shelves, front desk, and everything in between. If something's gone, it's not immediately visible.
I can't see anything out of the ordinary.
Me either.
Yeah.
Something still doesn't sit right with me.
I'm gonna go look upstairs.
The other two follow behind me. Juliet goes to check her office, but it appears untouched. Aspen waits at the top of the stairs, watching. Meanwhile, I go to my room. Grabbing the handle, I push the door open and turn on the lights. I can hardly believe what I see. My window is open to... Was it silver? That's kind of where my thought went, my mind went to, because I'm like, there's not like a whole lot of other characters like in the story. Like there's like 10, maybe. But like then I had to start going through like all those, like who would actually like break into here? My bed sheets and pillows are strewn across the floor like someone climbed across the bed. What few other possessions I have are also scattered around the room as if a tornado had blown through. Sorry, I'm just trying to shift my chair forward. For some reason, it keeps rolling back, and I don't really know why it is. Hang on. There we go. Now I can actually sit up straight while having my face near the mic instead of actually lean forward. Hee. What other few possessions I have are also scattered around the room as if... Okay, alright.
Is something amiss?
I can hear them both hurrying my way as I remain frozen in the doorway. Behind me, Aspen gasps as she gets a glimpse of my room.
Why?
I have a feeling I already know the answer to one of those questions, but not the other. Stepping inside, I mechanically pick up my things and put them back where they belong. Everything is here except for... Why would Silver take the scroll? Okay. Why? I check under my bed and in every nook and cranny just to be sure, but it's gone. The fact is all I need. That fact is all the confirmation I need. I push my way past Aspen and Juliet's shocked faces and dash back downstairs. They don't try to like stop her at all. They're just like, yeah, okay, go off, queen, do it. Like, that's so weird. Both Aspen and Juliet shout, okay. Both shout after me as I barrel out of the library, but I ignore them both. The instant I'm outside, I transform and keep running. There's no question or doubt as to who took my scroll. The question is why. As angry as I could be, I force myself to stamp that feeling down, at least until I know Silver's reasons. That's way more mature than I could be in this moment. The path to Mount Victoria is more crowded than I've ever seen it. Both the roads and sidewalks are full of people, mostly parents with their kids. Some of them point or cheer as I run past, but I don't give them a second thought. None of them try to stop me or get in my way. By the time I climb the mountain and reach Silver's part of the forest, it's dark. She isn't in any of her usual spots, but I can sense that she isn't far away. Racing through the darkness, I keep my nose near the ground, hot on her trail. Then suddenly, just like last time I find her, she moves in the darkness, a patch of shadows that's a different color than the rest. Her bead glows as vibrant as ever, illuminating her wrist. It shines on the unfurled paper in her hand. Like always, she waits with her back to me.
Of course I did. Give me back my scroll.
I keep my distance, but reach out my hand. She's just a few steps away. Tilting her head to look up at the starry sky. No, not the sky, the trees. I follow her gaze upwards and realize... Oh, I had a panic. I thought that she was going to look up and be like, oh, your scroll, it's like all scattered and like torn up and all up in the trees, just like caught on branches. I follow her gaze upwards and realize something. I've been here before. I recognize this tree. I recognize this tree. It's the one the bird fell from. That makes me pause. Has she been wondering about it all this time? Is this her way of asking? She did follow me all the way home. I soften my voice, but know that I may as well be blunt.
Died, you know. They weren't able to save it.
Her posture doesn't change, but by the subtle light of her bracelet, I can see her fingers clench the edge of my scroll more tightly.
The woman who rescued it. She said the same thing that you did. That's just how nature is.
Silence. Gritting my teeth, I try to contain my growing frustration. Normally I can tolerate her silence, but tonight, instead of just coming to talk like she knows I would, she steals my most beloved possession and makes me... Well, not only that, but she also just trashed your entire room. Like, it's not that... Not only did she steal from you, like, she, like, violated, like, your space, you know? And, like, treated all of your possessions as, like, they don't matter. So, like, yeah, no. Anger is justified. Also, she can ignore me.
Don't you have anything to say? You must have come here for a reason, didn't you?
More silence. Not even a breeze disturbs it. Finally, I've had enough. I step forward, snapping a branch beneath my shoes.
Answer me, damn it! Stop acting like you don't care about anything!
Ooh. That gets her attention. She looks at me over her shoulder, face hidden except for her eyes, and then faces me.
To happen upon another burn, more broken than the first. Would you still try to save it?
Is this her way of actually like asking for help?
Of course.
Even knowing that your effort is likely to be futile?
Yeah, even then. At least there's a chance it would work out.
You speak like a human, fighting against the inevitability of death. While we could watch the river of life from its shores, you choose to struggle upstream. Why?
Why? Because otherwise it all just passes by. I did what you said and watched from the shores for so long because I didn't even think about joining it. But once I did, once I let someone pull me in, I realized I like it more this way. It's hard sometimes. I haven't even been trying that long, but those hard times just help me appreciate the good ones more. Or even at all. There's someone I met who was also afraid of getting hurt, and someone else who was afraid of just passing by. They showed me that those are parts of life too, just like death is for a lot of people. Who cares about living forever if you don't care about being alive? Immortal or not, it's all we have. You and me, my friends, that bird, it's the same for all of us. I could have run away. I thought about it a million times. It would have been a lot easier than staying. But I did stay. And so now, here I am. Someone took a chance on me once too. Even if I wouldn't have died, they still saved my life in a way. I thought it would be impossible for someone like me, like you and me, that it wasn't even worth the effort to try and change things. But I was wrong. And I'm glad that I was. And so that's why I do the same thing all over again, with the burn. Because if there's even a chance, it's worth trying.
Although I don't say it, I can't help but think even talking like this is something relatively new for me, unlike Silver, who talks more like Aspen's old books most of the times. It just goes to show that there are lots of different paths our lives could have taken, but they both brought us here together. While Silver is still thinking about what I said, her eyes suddenly go wide at the same time that I feel something warm on my neck. Holding my necklace where I can see it, both Silver and I just stare at as my bead brightens before our eyes. The glow intensifies to the point that Silver has to shield her eyes and look away, although somehow it doesn't bother me. What is happening? Oh, things are going down. I also watch as another eyelash thin crack appears, and then another. For a moment, I half expected to just shatter, but it just stops after the third crack, still holding itself together. The light from it also dims a little bit, but it's still brighter than it was. When I let go and it falls back against my neck, my bead feels heavier than normal too. Silver is able to look at me again, and though the shock has faded from her expression, her eyes still stay fixed on my bead. She laughs, but it's humorless. Shaking her head, she continues to stare at my necklace instead of my eyes.
I had hoped that by looking at this, I might be able to learn your secret. Some magic spell or incantation that you had invoked. At the very least, I thought I might understand. Even as I read it, I thought that I must be missing something. For what meaning could such simple instructions hold? Even as you arrived here, I hoped that perhaps you would reveal some missing part of the puzzle.
The freak are you talking
So
about?
golden was your light as I approached your library that I thought it must be someone else. So bright that I could see it clearly. The same color as the person close to you. Now, I don't know if I should be disappointed or not to find there is no secret to these words. Is there?
Holding my scroll in front of her face the same way I held my necklace, her eyes glide across the characters.
Kang Young. Please be happy.
I didn't want to say it, but as soon as she said like she could actually read it, I was like, oh my gosh, is that what it's gonna say? Oh my gosh, please be it. Who? I'm counting this as a dub. It is her being happy and the happy memories that she and her friends have that's powering up her necklace. That's totally what it is.
What simple nonsense. And yet, how could I deny that you've taken it to heart when your very aura tells me your truth?
It's all I can do to blink, to breathe, to stay standing upright as the world narrows to just the two of us, all awareness of anything else falling away from me. Confusion is just as plain on Silver's face at my reaction as I struggle to speak.
You can read it? That's what it says?
After years of looking and trying to understand, and she can read it just like that? Silver, who says she cares nothing for people and their lives or culture. I'm not the only one stunned. The parchment falls from Silver's hands as she drops it in shock. The parchment falls from Silver's hand as she drops it in shock. It flares to the ground and stays there, even as a budding breeze starts to blow. The shock changes into understanding, and then Silver laughs. Really laughs for the first time I've ever seen. Her usual dignified and threatening poise is gone as she laughs so hard that it echoes around the woods. Clutching her chest is all she can do to remain upright as she acts like she's heard the world's funniest joke. Still, just like earlier, I'm not sure there's any humor in it. Finally, with a groan, she retrieves my scroll and then straightens up, wiping her eyes.
Serious, aren't you? You never knew what it said before now.
No, we're just learning how to read. Stop. I shake my
I'd
head.
call you a liar if you were anyone else. You've made a fool of me without even trying. Or rather, I've made a fool of myself.
That's what I was gonna say. We totally didn't do anything to make a fool out of you. That's all you, girl. That's all you, Silver.
Not your glow was the result of those words. But you achieved that by yourself. Whatever it is you feel, it's something you've learned on your own, isn't it? You truly believe all the things you said.
Maybe not on my own. I had a lot of help along the way.
That's also what I was saying. The thing, like, she didn't do this all by herself.
I mean it. Every word.
I reach out a hand again, taking a step forward, then another and another. I stop just in front of Silver. All she has to do is take the final step forward. Please, please. I don't demand anything, just reach. She eyes my hand warily, like a stray dog trying to decide if it should trust someone. I hold my breath, waiting. With a rustle, she pushes the paper into my hand, and then backs away, looking at the
Your path
ground.
is different than mine. We may have more in common than I once thought, but I still cannot follow behind you.
But why?
Though I can understand why you walk it.
I nod. Oh,
understand
sorry.
why you said no.
Mm.
I hope you change your mind someday.
Perhaps. Although, I do not think we'll meet again.
What? Why? What, Silver, where are you going? No.
Why not? Are you leaving?
Soon. I don't know when. I haven't decided. But I made up my mind before I ever visited your library.
Oh,
You're disappointed.
I am. You're the first other Gumio I've ever known. You're like family, I guess. Didn't you call us sisters before?
Silver blushes, averting her eyes.
Perhaps.
Then that's what we are.
That's simple, is it?
It really is.
Silver shakes her head and looks around, regaining a bit of her standoffish composure. This is about the time when she typically transform and
At
run
least tell me
away.
before you leave, okay? Whenever it is.
She hesitates,
Fine.
but then agrees.
Goodbye, Miho.
No, I wanted you to come into the fold. I wanted you to hang out with us and be friends. No, don't leave us. I thought we were liking ya. We were buds
Bye,
now.
Silver.
And then you're leaving? Oh. Bye, I guess. She walks towards me rather than away and comes to a stop right beside me. We both face in different directions. Slowly, she raises a hand and awkwardly pats me on the shoulder just once. By the time I turn my head to look at her, all that I can see is a disappearing gleam of silver fox fur as she blends into the night. I'm alone, but I don't feel alone. Looking at my scroll, there are a few new creases from where silver held onto it, but they don't mess up the writing or anything. It's just another record of what we've been through together. The breeze from before picks up, making the paper flutter in my grip, and I use two hands to hold it. Seeing without reading, I let my eyes wander over the familiar characters. It's funny, all this time I spent not knowing what they said, just to find I've lived them all along, or at least I started to. Happiness. That's a new one for me too, I think. Another abstract concept that that didn't seem meant for me, but like everything else, it got easier along the way. I roll my scroll back up and store it safely in my pocket. The woods are dark as I walk through them, but I'm not afraid. The shining light of my bead brightens the path, leading my way back home. Oh no! This is like also exciting, but also so sad. We're starting the final chapter. Okay. That was really good. That was really, really good. Although I'm a little sad that we didn't get any of the girls in costumes, but that's fine, I guess. Whatever. But oh my gosh, also like look at this art. I love the color, the choice of colors for the background, and the way like it's all like done and everything. And also just like the art in general of Aspen here is so cute and beautiful. We're in the last chapter of Aspen's route. Obviously, there's still more. There's still more, but that means our time with Aspen, like being our main girl, is coming to a close, and that's simultaneously exciting because again, I've been like missing Juliet. I'm like, she's like kind of been really in the background these past like chapter, you know, like she's been here and there a little bit, but like I miss her. But also when we get to Juliet's thing, to her route, and Aspen kind of disappears out of it, I would be so sad. I would be so sad that Aspen's just like a background character now and not our main girl. You know what I mean? So simultaneously very exciting and also very, very scary. So as if that isn't kind of like the point of this, is like, you know, all these good things will come to an end eventually, but it's about being happy along the way. You know what I mean? But yeah, oh, the pink grass at the bottom's so cute too. I'm so excited for this, but I'm also so scared. Cause honestly, a big reason why it took me so long to get back to this, outside of just having to replay all of it, uh, you know, off screen, is just the fact that I'm like, it's so good. I'm gonna be like devastated when it's over and I don't have any more of it to read. But then I also realize like, hey, I'm just stopping myself from enjoying something for the fear of it ending. Why not just enjoy it while it's here, essentially? That's how I'm looking at it now. That's how I'm looking at it. I think that's just a better way of looking at life. Again, sort of what this game is trying to teach you is just being happy and enjoying the things you enjoy, and not like be like it's not pushing away the things that make you happy, essentially. Or at least that's like part of the point of the game to me. That's what I'm taking out of some of it, you know. But yeah. With all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one when we start the final chapter. We might only have like each of the chapters have been around like 8, 9 episodes, depending on how long we go for. Oh, this is gonna be. I guess it's probably around 10. So we probably only have like 10 more episodes of Aspen's Route, and that's so sad. That's so sad to me. But it's okay. I guess with that being said, I'll see all you beautiful people in the next one for when we start the final chapter. Bye-bye.